It's your boy. I'm gonna try and keep this one short, but before I get into it, I want to talk about some feedback I got. I have friends who are well-established content creators, and I really value their insight because, well, they found success and do this professionally. They have a good understanding of what does and doesn't work and why. I'm just an editor. I take video and try to make it appealing, but I'm never a part of the content. I'm completely out of my element. My friends are a very powerful asset I can learn from on my content creation journey. A big bit of criticism I got was for the second half of my video going over paths and the kits for the standard banner characters. This portion of the video didn't seem nearly as entertaining as the beginning. It has information that is easily accessible through so many other resources that aren't me, but the portion afterward about which of those characters I'd want was good and sets up anticipation for the next video. It not being as entertaining is something I definitely agree with. I got bored while editing it, and the community doesn't need another guide maker doing character kit deep dives. Goba, Moon, Braxophone, Poke, Slice, they got that. I may still talk about character kits in some capacity and do guide-like things, but I'm going to narrow my focus in that area in an attempt to have the entertainment level be consistent throughout the whole video. Thanks for all the support, and if you want to see more from me, hit the buttons all the other content creators tell you to hit, and let's get right into it. The saga continues. Wu-Tang. This is episode 2. Last time we ended just after getting Archer and Dan Heng and finishing the tutorial warp for Asta. Continuing from there, we check in with Arlen to make sure he's doing alright as he was injured when we found him in the first episode, and we're awarded 3 light cones, each for a different path, haunt, preservation, and harmony. Excluding the free 5 stars, we still have characters with each of those paths: March, Dan Heng, and Asta. It's a solid pickup, and these can go on them. Afterward, we help out 2 researchers. One needed help with a machine, and the other just needed a morale boost after the attack. With that, we unlock the travel log, which is an event page and lists different rewards we can unlock. Oh, nice. Gift Odyssey. What is that? Permanently increase max technique points by 1. Do I have this on my main account? I don't think I do. What? Unless, do I have less technique points right now? Oh my gosh, I do. Okay, so you started with 3. I actually don't remember that. After helping out, we report to Asta, and the space station suddenly gets attacked again by an antimatter legion creature known as... The Astral Express crew and I make our way to the railway platform to meet up with Welt, another member of the Astral Express crew, and I grab some loot and take out Legion members along the way. I also leveled the Trailblazer, Dan Heng PT, and Archer to 20, using the free resources I got in episode 1. When we made it to the railway, we ran into the Doomsday Beast, and with 2 level 20 characters on my team, it was a very easy battle. The Doomsday Beast shot off an energy blast after, and it almost hit March, but we stepped in front of it like Piccolo, and it made the Stellaron Kafka putting us start acting funny, and it starts showing us spoilers for the first story arc, and as we're charging up, Welt appears and hits us in the forehead with a cane.
No! Give me your fucking forehead!
And knocks us out and calms the Stellaron down. When we awake, Dan Heng is at our side. He makes sure we're okay and gives us his phone number and tells us to find Himiko if she wanted to speak with us. And we are awarded our first Eidolon. Eidolons are character upgrades, and for characters that aren't the main character, you get one for every extra copy of that character you earn. For example, I have Asta. If I pull and get another Asta, the second would automatically be converted to an Eidolon that can be used to improve the first. You can't own 2 copies of the same character in this game. Every character has 6 Eidolons they can unlock, and players will say they're between E0 to E6 depending on how many they have. So my Trailblazer is E1. Light cones have something similar, but you can have multiple copies of the same light cone, and you can choose to sacrifice a copy to improve the effects of another, and that's called Superimposition. All light cones start at Superimposition 1 or S1 and can be improved to S5. In this play session, I got duplicates and improved 3 light cones to S2. Anyway, we get an Eidolon, meet up with Himiko, and she introduces us to Madame Herta, who finally made it to the station after being absent for months, and she's the first person to be able to say my player name.
So, this little twerp has the Stellaron now? Huh.
I got a screenshot that's insane.
Alright, I got it. But I'm still gonna call you Little Twerp.
Himiko invites us to join the express crew and tells us to meet her at the train to let her know if we've decided to come along. And Herta asks to study us since we have a Stellaron in our body. We went to her office and experienced one of her projects called the Simulated Universe, which I don't want to get into much detail about right now. But when we finished, we got an Erudition light cone and Herta as a playable 4-star character. I didn't talk about the 4 stars much yet. Gonna save that for when I pull on the starter banner. Spoiler alert, I didn't do that in this episode. Before meeting up with Himiko, I decided to explore the space station and finish some side objectives. I finished all of the character trials on the warp page, bought some stuff from this guy, and got bonuses for spending a certain amount. One of the Trailblazers Eidolons is in there. I gotta remember that. I talked to this other Afro guy, and he gave me an access card. I watered a talking plant, killed some teleporting space pigs, fought a big enemy blocking a chest, and got another collapsing skylight cone for the Trailblazer. Found a room that had another access card on the floor, and a chest with a second amber light cone. Then I talked to Arlen and got a side quest to unlock a space anchor, which are fast travel points that heal you when you're nearby. In the room with the space anchor, I found a big enemy blocking a chest, and when I beat it, I got another access card and the second arrow's light cone. I was able to use the 3 access cards I found to get into Asta's office, and I got another copy of the Seriousness of Breakfast light cone. Then I went to Himiko, told her I wanted to join, got on the express, met the conductor Pom Pom, and they gave me rewards for increasing my Trailblaze level. After talking with Pom Pom, I unlocked another menu called the Interstellar Guide, and there were a bunch of gameplay tutorials in there. Doing them gave me rewards. I honestly forgot these tutorials were a thing, and in one of them, probably my favorite character in terms of gameplay showed up. And I'm gonna show you my reaction to that, but before that, some context. I'm free to play here, but on my main, I definitely am not. I don't spend all the time, but when I do, it can be a pretty significant amount. So get this. On the limited banners, when you get a 5-star for the first time, there is actually a coin flip on whether or not it's the limited character or one of the standard banner 5 stars. We call it the 50-50. The coin flip resets every time you get the limited character. Recently, we were allowed to remove 3 of those standard banner characters and add 3 limited characters in their place. I did this at the end of the last episode. The character I really want is one of these 3 characters. On the collab banner, I pulled E6 for both Archer and Saber, and none of the 50-50s I lost to them. Also, outside of this character has not been made available since I started playing the game almost 2 years ago. So now you'll understand where this reaction came from. Seal! Oh, please! Anyway, I think the tutorials are solid, and that players should carefully read through and play them out to understand those mechanics. After I finished, I talked to each member of the crew and took a seat for my first warp jump. We traveled to a planet called Eurillo 6, and it seems to be mostly frozen over because of a Stellaron. It also broke the star rail that the train travels on, and we can't move forward while the Stellaron is active. So March, Dan Hung, and I took to the surface of the planet to see how we could help. Welt seemed really disappointed that he didn't get to come along.
I'd like to entrust this trailblazing expedition to March, Dan Hung, and you. The objective is clear. Find the Stellaron responsible for the disaster and the spatial distortions, and bring it back to the Express. We'll deal with the rest.
Awesome! We get to work as a team again.
Someone has to stay on the train or Pom Pom will get lonely. Not to mention, Nanook threw us a glance just now. If we're targeted by the Antimatter Legion, then things could go south fast.
So it's still not our turn.
I know you really want to go, but we should give the youngsters a chance to get out there on their own. It'll be a good opportunity for them to bond.
Anyway, I stopped right there. I landed, had some dialogue with March and Dan Hung, and as soon as I got control of my character, I closed the game. I'm excited. I remember really enjoying Eurillo's story. But before I end the video, I want to share a little criticism I have about the game so far, and it's about Asta, specifically her ultimate. Her ult increases the speed of all allies by a certain amount depending on its level for 2 turns. The speed is one of, if not the most important stat in the game. It determines who goes first in the action order and how many times before others go. If a character gets a big enough of a speed boost, they can lap someone else in the action order. And with Asta, at least right now, it feels like her ult does nothing. The boost she gives currently isn't strong enough to advance any of the characters, so it gets wasted every time. Across every fight so far, the Trailblazer, and only the Trailblazer, moved up in action once. I don't have a lot of experience with Asta, so I'm not sure how much this would improve in the future, but all I know is I'm really hoping for Bronya so that I can use her instead. I'm thinking we'll finally pull in the next video. So, till next time, I said it in the beginning, you know what to press. See ya.